Hey, that's the intro to the game. We're not going to watch that. Welcome to 100% Demon Souls. This is just going to be an actual playthrough of the game. No saves coming. I'm just going to go throughout the whole game, and for the most part, I'm going to be staying offline because I don't want to be interrupted by other players. I want to show off the messages that From Software leaves deliberately for the player. Don't want to be interfered with by troll messages or invaders, although we will have a little bit of multiplayer in this. Throughout this, I'm going to show where all possible drops are and all rings, all weapons, all spells, which means we got to go through the game 3 full times to get everything. So I stopped here on my deluxe items bundle. I'm actually going to turn this off because I don't know if anyone watching this will have picked up the digital deluxe version of the game like I have. So we're going to start with the Providential Ring. It is possible to get the Providential Ring through the game, but I'm not going to do that. It's much easier if you start with it. Besides, we got to go through the game 3 times, right? I'm just changing the voice for my own personal benefit. And I always like to randomize the face, so I'm going to do this a little bit. We're starting as a royalty class because I feel royalty is probably the easiest to... Oh, I actually like that one. I wish I could go back to it. I feel like the royalty class is kind of OP. Magic in general is OP. It's the easiest path to take if you want to complete the game and you want to get everything. I can just keep doing this forever until I find one that I like. Let's go through the presets, because I like this one, and I don't think I've ever seen that one decal before. I clearly do not go through this stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. That's the character. And I'm using a female body type because the female body type can wear bracers a little later on in the game that only women can wear. And it will boost the number of souls that we get from kills. It happens a little, probably the midpoint of the first playthrough. I've also unlocked all of the trophies already, so we're going to fulfill the conditions of the trophies, but you won't see the trophies pop. I actually turn trophy notifications off because I don't like to see them pop up when I get them. I feel like it takes me out of the game. So that's our character. I'm just gonna let the intro play.
King Alant XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valifax of the Royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had roused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls lose also their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valifax also spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force, and the power of a mature demon soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly, Mighty warriors lured by the possibilities braved the fissure to breach the accursed land, but none have returned. Bjor of the Twin Fangs, Waydt the Silent Chief, Saint Urbain, Skirva the Wanderer, the sixth Saint Astraea with her Night Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Ah, has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
Would you like to play the journey to the Nexus? Yes.
Brave soul who fears not death. I shall guide you to the fissure. So that you may lull the old one back to slumber.
So this is the tutorial level, the Outpost Passage. I'm going to move some things around in my gear really quick. I just prefer to have my spell casting in my left hand. I'm unequipping the Noble's Lotus. This counteracts poison, and it's not going to come into play until much later in the game. And the Half Moon Grass is the second best healing grass. There's going to be Crescent Moon Grass, and I want that to go into the first slot there. This first guy, I don't think he will attack me at all. So let's see if I can. Yep. Even with him spinning, I didn't have to run. I could just circle around and eventually backstab him. So all of these messages are little tutorial messages on how to use the controls in the game. And if you're paying attention to the amount of damage my sword does, you'll notice that attacking right after that guard block does more damage. Ooh. And most of these guys that you fight are slow enough that you can just get behind them and backstab them. Oh, tried to go for the parry there and it didn't work. So I'll go for the backstab. I do apologize if I move the camera around a lot. I know the environment, so I'll try to slow down as much as possible. Oh, should I be reading these so that you can see them? Use item. Switch item. So that's really important. I just picked up Crescent Moon Grass, and on the item bar here, it automatically equips it. And that is something that I don't like about the gameplay, but I'm sure that it existed in the PS3 version. It's been a long time since I played the PS3 version. Crescent Moon Grass. You can see that it goes up right there. You don't always want items that I pick up to go right there. So I'm emptying things out of that later on. And then these guys are all pretty simple. You can fight them one at a time. They do that jumping attack, and then you can get behind them and backstab them. One hit kills. I love it. The camera does snap around quite a bit because I am locking on to these guys. So before we touch this archstone, right over here, we're going to have some more crescent moon grass, which you will not be able to come back to this area later in the game. The tutorial level is kind of a one-time thing. I'm not sure you can even play it on New Game Plus. Let's go for a parry. Yeah! Didn't even have to be lined up perfectly. Hey, look at that. Now the instructions the tutorial just told us how to parry. It's my favorite thing to do, is to parry and riposte. Let's see if I can do it with this guy. Oh, too soon. There we go. Jerk. So this next guy, he pretty much will not walk past that flame. He will put up his shield. Oh, look at that. This is the first time I've ever seen him do that. I don't know. I don't think he'll pursue past this area. I think he just kind of keeps hanging out here. Oh, look at that. This is the first time I've ever seen him do that. So the secret to parrying is that these enemies, they have a wind-up with their attacks. So their melee weapon, they'll either pull it up above their head or they will swing back with it. And if you time it right, as they bring their weapon forward to strike you, if you hit L2, you will essentially interrupt their attack. Doesn't work with every shield. Every shield has a slightly different timing. But we are using the buckler. And yeah, sorry, I keep moving the camera around and I shouldn't do that. We're using the buckler, and the buckler is pretty fast and it's pretty good for parrying. It has a very low guard break and it doesn't resist all 100% of physical damage. So you'll notice that this guy has a little bit more hit points than the previous soldiers. It's like it's getting ramped up a little bit. So as soon as I go through here, I'm going to get charged by a guy on the left. Pick up some more grass. And this tutorial level is basically just to familiarize yourself with some of the basic attack functions. When we pass through this fog wall, we will be fighting a boss, the Vanguard Demon. And I'll be honest, I don't always defeat him 100% of the time. So let's look at our equipment really quick, because we, as the royalty class, we start with the wizard's outfit, which is gender neutral outfit, can be worn by both men and women. It has pretty decent defense. Rugged cloth vest, worn by sanctioned magicians. And you'll notice that the description for all of these ends with worn by sanctioned magicians. I think the implication is that a witch is an unsanctioned magician. So the silver coronet is a unique magic item. It increases the wearer's maximum magic points. A decorative piece bestowed only to magicians of the distinguished Yormadar school. We are using the silver catalyst, which is, in my opinion, not the best catalyst. It scales with your magic stat. The rapier is a dex scaling weapon. You'll see along the bottom here, it's strength, dex, strength, dexterity, magic, and faith. Those are the 4 attributes that increase stats of weapons. Rapiers boast great damage despite their narrow attack range. Now, one of the benefits of the rapier is that you can actually have your shield up while you attack with it. I don't do that very often, but it is a bonus. We also started with the Providential Ring, which raises our item discovery. Item discovery is modified by our luck stat. Once the most prized possession of a merchant, he bet his life on the hope of greater riches. We also start with the Fragrant Ring. Royalty is the only class that starts with the Fragrant Ring. If you don't start as a royalty, you will get this ring much, much, much later on in the game. And when I say much, 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 I mean World 4. Is it World 4? Maybe it's World 3. I don't remember. Yeah. A nobleman's ring filled with spice slowly recovers magic points over time. And if we go back to our stats, you'll see that my health is not full, but my magic points, the blue bar, is full. And that is because even though I cast a few spells, I have regenerated my magic. Okay, so we're going to try and fight the Vanguard Demon. If I make one mistake, I'm pretty much dead. So the secret here is to get behind him. Fuck. I'm trying to lock on, it didn't work. Try to do a mix of both physical and magical attacks. The sweet spot is basically right next to his left button. You can stay right there. He will pretty much keep doing that jump attack where he hovers up into the air and comes back down. Don't want to get greedy. There we go. Sometimes you can get him in a loop where he will just keep repeating that attack over and over again. Today is not it, though. Oh, that's not good. Sometimes his hand will stop you from getting around him, like he flips on his hand, and we don't want that to happen. He does always seem to like go up against the wall, and it makes it harder to see him. As long as you stay locked on and keep circling around to his left butt cheek, you should be good. There is a lot of timing that goes into this, though, too. Well, and whenever he does that, you got to put some distance between you and him. If you're playing through the game for the first time and you don't manage to kill him, that is fine. There will be a point later in the game where you can get practice against him. Oh yeah, I went for the attack. I had him on the ropes. So, if you manage to defeat him, you get quite a boon, actually. You get his soul, you get about 500 souls, and you go to another little area here. The unknown Egress. I'm really glad I defeated him, because I would say it's like 50-50 sometimes I just screw up the timing with a dodge and he ends up hitting me. This is the Dragon God. We're not actually going to fight him right now. But I want to take a look at this helm that I just picked up, the Iron Helm. This is essentially the helm of the main character on the cover of the game. Iron helm with classic design with finely cut grooves, worn by knights in the relatively advanced region to Boletaria's south. This is heavy armor, so it slows stamina regeneration. We are not going to wear it, but I wanted to point out I just picked up Full Moon Grass and see it automatically populated into my item bar. I took it out and if I go down here, I pick up some more. If I look at my item bar, it did not automatically populate. So basically the first time you pick up something that could go in your item bar, it will automatically go into the first open slot that you have. And Full Moon Grass is just slightly better than... I think there's a grass that's after Crescent, or not Crescent, Half Moon. I'm not sure. We just picked up our first crafting materials. Got a couple of Renowned Warrior Souls here. And a really good view of the Dragon God. So I'm going to look at some of this stuff really quick. We've got an Unknown Warrior Soul, a Renowned Warrior Soul, and we've got crafting materials. Hardstone shards can upgrade straight swords, axes, hammers, similar weapons, and they can go up to level 10. Sharpstone shards can reinforce daggers, curved swords, spears, and light. Also can go up to 10. There will be other crafting materials that we'll run into, but Sharpstone and Hardstone are the basics. And now we get a little cutscene. Ouch.
Withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. The Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not quit the Nexus, but the 5 Archstones will guide thee to the outer lands.
You have died, and the Nexus has imprisoned your soul. You cannot escape the Nexus. However, by capturing demons' souls, you can reclaim your corporeal body. So you'll notice that our health is now capped at 50% of what our maximum should be. I thought it was weird when I thought this character's hair was black, but when I was running earlier, it looked like it was red. And now, well, when you're in soul form, that's what this is, you basically have this white glow coming off of you. You'll see a little later on that when you're in body form, the white glow disappears, and sometimes you'll have kind of a golden glow. But before I talk to that guy, I'm going to talk to this guy.
Well, you slipped through the fissure too, did you? You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Hunting for demons? Try one of the Archstones. Now go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria.
It's a little bit of a misleading statement because this is the only Archstone, singular, that we can access. And he says, try the Archstones. The rest of them are all sealed. I'm not going to do that to all of them. And the 6th Archstone doesn't even work. Well, whatever. Does he have more to say?
Came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Bah, it's all the same. You're just another prisoner of the Nexus. We're welcome here. As long as we keep slashing up demons. You came for demons?
Okay, so he just repeats himself now. If you've played Dark Souls, this is the equivalent of the Crestfallen Knight. And he is a very charming character. And eventually will disappear. So. Oh yeah, before I talk to this guy, we did pick this up. As soon as we came to the Nexus, we got the Nexial Binding. If you're familiar with Dark Souls, this is very much like the Dark Sign. When you use it, you will die, and you will return to the Nexus, and you will lose all of your souls. You will not have a blood stain on the ground to recover your souls from. You just basically pay the cost of whatever souls you're currently carrying in order to return to the Nexus. So it's not really worth it unless you're in an emergency or something.
I'm Stockpile Thomas. When the Scourge came, I didn't know what hit me. When I came to, I found myself here in this Nexus. My wife and daughter fell victim to the demons. But I would be worthless in battle. At the very least, I hope to lend my assistance to you brave slayers of demons. I would be happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage.
So.
When the Scourge came, I abandoned my wife and daughter and fled like a coward. When I came to, I was in this Nexus. I haven't dared venture outside these walls since. I wish I could do more, but I am ignorant of the world beyond these walls.
So, this guy basically gives us unlimited storage. And I'm going to deposit a bunch of things here for now. Crafting materials, when you upgrade weapons, will draw upon the crafting materials that are in your storage box. So you don't need to be carrying the crafting materials with you. I don't think I have anything else I want to put in here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. One of the complaints that some people have about this game is that you
Rest
have...
assured, your goods are safe and sound with me. Best of luck to you.
Here.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah. I want to get to the stats. Okay, so right in the middle, underneath hit points, magic points, and stamina, we have equip burden and item burden. Equip burden is the weapons and armor that we have equipped. And as long as you keep your equip burden to 50% or less of what your maximum is, you can roll faster. Or if you are equipped at higher than 50%, you'll slow roll, which means that it's easier for enemies to hit you when you dodge out of the way. Item burden is the total amount of things that you can carry. Once that maxes out, anything that you pick up goes basically to Stockpile Thomas. It moves to the Nexus. Some people don't like the item burden limitation. They kind of feel like that is an unnecessary thing that was put in. But if you're familiar with old school Dungeons and Dragons, which I believe is what Miyazaki based a lot of Demon Souls and Dark Souls off of, having a limitation to how much you could carry was a feature of the game. A lot of times, the point of basic D&D way back in 1980 was to get gold and silver. And gold and silver It weighs a ton, and if you can't carry it all out of the dungeon, you got to find ways to get it out of the dungeon. Clearly, the game does not have that same kind of mechanic, but I think item burden was, that's my personal theory, item burden was put into this game as kind of a holdover of that kind of mechanic from a tabletop role-playing game. There are, for someone like me who grew up playing basic D&D in the mid-'80s, there are a lot of signifiers in this game that harken back to that era of tabletop role-playing games. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we can go through our stats on this page, too. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll try to remember to do that. I'm going to preemptively apologize if I get distracted or I don't finish explaining something, and I just move along, or I don't explain it very adequately. It's probable that I have undiagnosed ADHD. It's also probable that I'm just a lazy shithead with no follow-through. But either way, I apologize ahead of time for any confusion that I might cause. World tendency and character tendency, I will explain that later, actually, because it's not going to come into play for a little while.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch on your belongings, don't you worry.
I think...
My candle maiden cared for me during my first days here. She says very little, but has a kind heart. She's just the age my young daughter would have been. Poor girl. Trapped here with her eyes occluded by wax. If only something could be done to help her.
And I think at this point he just repeats
If only
that.
something could be done to help her.
Yeah.
You have a heart of gold.
So we're going to leave. And then we've also got Baldwin.
You new here. Are you here for my services? The name's Baldwin. I'm just an ordinary blacksmith. It's simple. Just bring me all the souls you can. In trade, I'll give you weapons. Or forge the ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living. And with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, eh? If you haven't heard, there's another blacksmith at the entrance to Stone Fang Mine. He's an eccentric old man. He knows his trade well. He's the only sane one left in a town of soul-starved men. If you do meet him, no, forget it. That stubborn old ne'er-do-well will just chase you off.
So I'm not going to skip dialogue. I'm just going to let them talk. If for some reason they are repeating themselves, then I will skip dialogue.
There aren't enough smithing tools in this temple to handle all the work. Only certain ores can be used to forge weapons. But you'll just have to make do. And be thankful that I can do anything for you at all in this forsaken place.
And I think at this point he just repeats that.
Thankful that I can do anything.
So we can repair our equipment, which is something that I do every time I come back to the Nexus. I try to make it a habit. If we really wanted to, we could upgrade the rapier, because we did pick up those sharpstone shards, but I do not want to spend the souls on it. Let's just take a look really quick at what he sells. He's got Crescent Moon Grass for 150 souls. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth it. The very next level we're going into, Crescent Moon Grass drops like rain from the sky. So you're never going to need to purchase Crescent Moon Grass. If you want some, you can just go to the gates of Boletaria and kill some dudes and you'll pick some up. Fresh Spice is very powerful. Consumed to slightly replenish magic points. If you don't start with the Fragrant Ring, you might want to consider purchasing one or two of these, because you would need magic points to be replenished if you're going to use magic. And if you want the game to be easier for your first playthrough, you'll definitely want to use magic. We're not going to purchase this. Ed's Sharpening Stone recovers the durability of right-hand weapon. Oh, excuse me. I've only had to use these a couple of times, but there's a point in the game where we'll get 4 of them for free. So save your souls. You don't need to spend 8,000 souls, because you're going to get some. The Cracked Stone Eye restricts health recovery temporarily. This is a PvP item. Because we're not going to be getting invaded, we're not going to need it. But this is definitely something I've seen people use in PvP. Invaders who show up and throw this at you after they've hit you a couple times are definitely playing with a particular strategy in mind. And if you've played Dark Souls and played PvP, you'll recognize the effect of the item because there's a similar item, I forget the name off the top of my head, in Dark Souls that does that. He also sells a dagger and a short sword, battle axe, heater shield. Heater shield is nice because it's got 100% physical damage resistance. It also has a slightly better guard break than the buckler that we currently have. And I think it pretty much functions the same for parrying. I'm not going to purchase that right now because I clearly do not have enough souls. The battle axe is a primarily strength scaling weapon. Short sword is also a primarily strength scaling, and the dagger is dex scaling. If you're unfamiliar with Demon Souls and Dark Souls, you'll know that you won't know that there's a lot of debate as to whether strength scaling or dex scaling characters are better. Personally, I don't give a shit. Play the way you want. He also sells arrows and bolts, which are useful if you have a bow or a crossbow, but we don't. So that's pretty much it.
You come back alive.
And did I exhaust everything?
You came for Demon.
Yeah. Yes, I did. And I think, yeah, she's here. I thought she'd be here. There's a couple of NPCs that show up after we finish the first level, and I wasn't sure if she would be here or not.
Oh my, how has this happened? Has God abandoned us for King Alant, failing to show proper respect? Oh, Mbasa. Oh, Mbasa.
And she just says that over and over. And that's it for the Nexus. And now we're going to go to the gates of Boletaria. I'm just going to play through this first area. This is sometimes referred to as World 1-1. The boss at the end of this is the Phalanx. And yeah, I'm just going to play through until I beat the Phalanx. And here's the archstone that will take us back to the Nexus. And if you turn around, there's some late moon grass. I think that is the item I was thinking of. Late moon grass is better than crescent moon grass, but it's not full moon grass. Full moon grass, I think, is the next one up from late moon grass. So we've got a guy on the left and a guy on the right. These guys do have a flurry of attacks to play through, but they do have that jumping attack too. And he just dropped some crescent moon grass. Look at that. Third guy we fought, we got some crescent moon grass. And then these are just part of the environment. Crescent moon grass and unknown warrior soul. More crescent moon grass. Okay, those guys at the top have not aggroed yet. I just want to take a look at something really quick. Okay. I remember. Lower left-hand corner. My luck is only 7. That means that my item discovery is really low. So if I take off the Providential Ring In the center column, you can see my item discovery is 27. If I put it back on, oh, it goes up to 68. So the item discovery ring is a pretty big boost for a starting character. But in general, this character, because her luck is low, she shouldn't be getting a lot of drops. Whoa! Did not expect that to happen. So that third guy actually came from behind this little wooden area here. Just like there's a guy right here behind this wooden area. I'm actually surprised that he aggroed. Usually he doesn't. Hey, pine resin! So I'm going to take this out of my item bar, but I am going to use it later. Let's take a look at it. Enchants right-hand weapon with flame. It is important to point out that this cannot be used with wooden weapons. Third sentence there. If you're familiar with Dark Souls, then you'll know in the early game, the club usually is the best weapon to use. And the very first time that I played Demon Souls was after I had played Dark Souls. So I started as a barbarian, and I played with a club, and you can't upgrade a club, and you can't enchant it. So it kind of, it messed with my expectations, I should say. So I'm not particularly fighting them very well. I really hope I don't. There's a guy underneath. You could probably see his arm. I don't. Maybe not. There's a guy underneath that second archstone. Archstone. That second arch in this room, and then there's a guy right around the corner of this room. Really quickly, we have a photo mode. If you have not been invaded and you have not summoned a friend to come help you, you can enter photo mode, which allows you to basically just move the camera around and look at things. And this is the main reason why I feel the PS5 version of Demon Souls is easier than the PS3 version, because we can see that there's a guy right around the corner here waiting to ambush us. We can see the other guy past this arch in the room who is also waiting to ambush us. And this, I think, is hugely powerful. You can look around rooms. You can only go so far away from your character with the camera, but it gives you an advantage. It lets you scope out the area right before you go into it. So if you're a new player playing Demon Souls for the first time, if you're afraid to go around a corner, just pull out the photo mode and look around. Again, I do apologize if I spin the camera around too quickly. Mail breaker. Did not expect to loot one of those. It's a dex scaling weapon. It's basically like a more powerful rapier. And fire bombs. That is also something that I'm going to take out of the item bar, but I will be using later. Fire bomb. It's basically a Molotov cocktail. It's an oil cask. It explodes in flame upon impact. It also does not scale with any of your stats. It does a flat amount of damage. So in progressive playthroughs of New Game Plus, New Game Plus Plus, etc., it doesn't do more damage. It does less and less damage. But it is useful. Oh, man. I tried to parry him and it didn't work. Oh. Didn't want to do that. Now, you'll notice I'm not running. I didn't really dodge except for that one roll. And I still managed to get a backstab on him. A lot of these guys, they move so slow that as long as you become familiar with their moveset, you can get around them. You can get backstabs. There are a couple places in the game where, yeah, there's that red look in her hair again. Okay. That's kind of bothering me, so I'm just going to go in and look at it. Is it the hair? I thought maybe it was her scalp. That's weird. Okay, well, whatever. I thought her hair was black. Apparently it's black with red. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of places in the game where the quarters are very tight. You're going to be in hallways a lot, and the camera is going to do stuff where, like, you can't see your character, like this. You might even not see the outline. There's going to be a lot of fights like this, where it's just disorienting. If you're familiar with the moves of your character, if you're comfortable with the moves that your weapon makes, and you lock on to your enemies, and you don't fall off ledges, you should be good. If you're having trouble with a particular area, hopefully my videos here will help, because I don't think I'm that great at these games. I don't know, like, did you see that? I stabbed that guy 5 times in a row. That nail breaker is always there. Stabbed that guy 5 times in a row because I didn't want to have to parry him and do something fancy to fight him. I just thought, ran up and stabbed him. And if you're not confident to just do that, then... Actually, I really hate the rapier. I do love magic, though. Somebody throwing an oil cask, a little firebomb. So the guy who threw the bomb behind me, he's on that ledge. We're not going to kill him right now because we can't get to him yet, but we are going to get to him. Excuse me. Getting over a little bit of a cold. So a bit of a cough. Oh, hope he doesn't drop anything. Just his body. Oh, I got the riposte, or I got the parry, but I didn't get the riposte. He still hit me. Jerk. Okay, so over here, we have some half moon grass. You'll notice that there's a little sparkly right down there. And we passed it earlier. We couldn't get to it. And then up here, there's a guy with a boulder. If you've played Dark Souls, you'll know that in the tutorial area, there's a little boulder that rolls down stairwell and does damage to you. And I think in Dark Souls, that was like a little homage to this. Bastard sword. You'll notice also that I did not run or dodge. I just walked, and that's if you know that the trap is there, you walk forward and then walk back, and yeah, you don't need to stress out about getting out of the way. So the bastard sword is a strength scaling weapon. We need a strength of 18 in order to wield it, so it's too powerful for this character. I think her strength is 10. Her strength is 9. Lower left-hand corner. That's where all of our attributes are. Well, oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. I wanted to look at this large sword. Similar to a straight sword, it's a versatile weapon, but its weight means it usually requires the use of both hands. Okay. I'm gonna magic this guy. That. And there's a guy with a crossbow right there. I almost always get shot in the back by him, so I'm really surprised that he didn't get me. Oh, got hit by that guy, though. There's another crossbowman here with a pikeman, and the pikeman really sucks. But we can backstab him. And they're protecting this little half-moon grass right here. So I'm going to tell you, if this is your first time playing Demon Souls, don't go this way. Because this is the Red Eye Knight, and he is really powerful. I'm tempted to try and just fight him, but since I'm broadcasting this and I'm not editing it, if I screw up, that means I gotta fight my way back here, and I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll wait until after I kill the Phalanx to try that. He also has a different move set than this Blue-Eyed Knight, so practicing with the Blue-Eyed Knight is not gonna help you against him. And yeah, I probably made that look easy, but I died against him so many times the first time I played this. So now we found a little light crossbow. I am not going to equip it, but I'm going to look at it for you. So crossbow does not scale with any stat, but it requires a strength of 10 to use. Small, easy to operate crossbow issued to Boletarian soldiers. And right around this corner is Dude. Ooh. Soldier's Shield. Oh, I think that's pretty much the same. It requires a 10 strength, which I don't have. So, small wooden shield issued to soldiers. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of backtracking in Demon Souls. And yes, backtracking is the name of the game. You're going to go over the same stairwells over and over and over again. So that little ledge is what took us to that guy. There's a fog wall here, but I'm not going to go through that yet. Because there's a shortcut this way that I want to open up. Fire bombs! Guys dropping some Crescent Moon Grass. Remember what I said about getting Crescent Moon Grass? I started with 6. I'm up to 16. And I've used a couple. I'm up to 17. I don't know how many I've used. 3 or 4, maybe? So there aren't any other guys here. That one guy aggroed. The third guy of the stairwell aggroed on me and ran out towards me. But if you come out this way, there are 2 bodies hanging from these chains. And we can cut the chain. Okay, there's 2 more guys down here. It's a little cheap, but all of these barrels explode if they get hit with flame, and I've had a couple of experiences where I get blown up while fighting myself on the stairwell, so better safe than sorry is what I say. Right here we get the Cling Ring, which I am immediately going to replace the Providential Ring with. Less hit point reduction when in soul form. Mysterious ring shaped like an eye reduces the loss of hit points sustained in soul form. So instead of being reduced to 50% of our health, we are reduced to 75% of our health. And this body has the old ragged boots, gloves, and robes. A robe made of layers of ragged fabric, covered in tears, open seams, and writhing grubs. No person in their right mind would don these garments of their own accord. And you'll notice that these are, in the upper left-hand corner, type A clothes. They can only be worn by women. Their defense and their resistances are also slightly better than what we're currently wearing, though they are heavier clothes. And I am, for the most part, going to change into them, because I don't think there's anything that the wizard's outfit gives us. Oh, I forgot to look at the Augite of Souls, the stone that emits light by the power of souls. You start with this, so you don't pick it up. It's like automatically equipped, and it basically gives you light in dark areas. Crafted by Jerry, known for his magic handicrafts and close acquaintance with Sage Frake, the Visionary. Didn't I just pick something up? I thought I just picked something up from the body. Yeah. Jade hair ornament. A plain jade hair ornament of the kind worn by commoners. We can't equip it, but it will come into play later. So this shortcut that we opened leads directly back to this main area that we came up earlier. So if I die, I don't have to go that far. I still have to fight a bunch of dudes in order to get up to the top, though. And now it's time to go through that fog wall. So down here we see a dude. He's glowing golden, and there's a little sparkly next to him, and there's a bunch of dreglings with flaming swords taunting him. Over here we've got, or right ahead of us I should say, we've got a bunch of exploding barrels and a guy throwing fire bombs. I'm just going to shoot him. Slowly walk forward until this pikeman comes towards me. Come on, dude. There's a guy right around the left here. Oh, I didn't get the backstab. I did get the backstab. Kind of a weird combination there. Firebomb. So if we go to the right, roll through all these wooden planks. We got this guy. He is not an enemy. We're going to talk to him.
You. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling me?
So this is the Dregling merchant, and he'll pretty much be here perched on this little crate until the Phalanx is destroyed. And he sells Crescent Moon Grass for 50 souls cheaper than Baldwin back in the Nexus, but he also sells Half Moon Grass. He sells fire bombs if you need them, and Soldier's Lotus, which will stop bleeding. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have never seen bleeding come into play except in PvP. So keep in mind that if you need Soldier's Lotuses to go into PvP against people with bleed weapons, the Dregling Merchant is the guy who has them. He also sells Longsword, which I would really like to get, but I'm not going to spend my souls yet. He sells the club, short spear, another crossbow, wooden shield, soldier shield, Dregling shield. He's got wooden bolts for the crossbow, and he sells plate armor. So if you wanted to upgrade your armor, you could get one of these. I'm not going to purchase anything from him, but we are going to talk to him a little bit.
Brave knight or lowly fodder, the demons snatched their souls regardless of their station, plummeting them all into madness. And those who dare cling to their humanity were hunted down. It is the end of great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons don't send us to our deaths in battle. There's this skinny fellow, clad in the most lavish armor, who's always mumbling about some mission. He's another one who's managed to stay sane, like yourself. Probably some pampered little lordling by the looks of his attire. I'd give an arm just for the buttons off his shirt. It is the end of great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons...
So there, he's repeating himself now.
Go ahead. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
That's a lie. So, just want to kind of zoom in on his face here. Oh, maybe I should move back. That way I can actually move the camera in front of his face. Oh. He's kind of a creepy looking dude, right? With that gold tooth. But he's so cool. I love the Dregling Merchant. I think he's... Oh, a little later on, we will have a discussion about character tendencies. And the Dregling Merchant will come up again in that discussion. So, right here, I'm going to use photo mode to show it off. There's a guy with a sword. And you should be able to see there's an archer here, there's an archer here. And so this is kind of a little, it's like a little trap spot, right? So you're going to fight this guy, but you're going to have two archers shooting down at you. But then there's these two guys right here who are going to jump down and also attack us. And again, this is why Demon Souls on PS5 is easier, because you can move the camera around, you can survey places, you can see where you're going, and you can see, in some instances, what you're going to be fighting before you fight it. So I'm just going to move forward to trigger those guys. And then... Oh! Just my luck that he uses an attack that's really slow. Okay, got some more Crescent Moon Grass, isn't that great? So before I go forward, now I'm going to go back. Right back to this guy and the shiny. I pretty much just wanted to clear that space out because I don't want to backtrack just to fight those dudes later.
That was a bold leap. A surprise indeed. Well, now that you are here, pray thee, fend off these Dreglings.
And that's pretty much the only thing he says until we kill the Dreglings. But right here is the Thief Ring. So I'm not going to put it on, but I'm going to take a look at it. Become harder for enemies to detect. Ancient sapphire ring that conceals the bearer's presence from enemies up to a distance. If you're familiar with Dark Souls, this is a pretty standard ring in every game. I will be using the Thief Ring a little later. But for now, we're just killing some Dreglings. So if you're not playing as a spellcaster or as royalty, then you're probably using a crossbow to kill those guys. And you might run out of bolts. Broken sword. I'm going to take a look at it really quick. Broken sword. Strength scaling. Straight sword with a broken blade. Covered in rust, covered in blood, and utterly blunt. But that is the easiest way to get back to what I was saying before. That is the easiest way to take out these Dreglings. Ranged attacks. Because otherwise they will swarm you. Their AI is not great, but yeah, they kind of crap. And these things explode. They all have flaming swords. When we talk to this guy, he's going to start walking, but I don't want him to start walking yet. So I'm going to wait to talk to him. See, the door is buckling. Two guys are going to come out of here. Oh, man. Did not time that very right. And there's a blue-eye knight right here that I want to sneak up on. So I'm just going to walk very slowly and hopefully backstab this guy. It's cheap, but it's effective. Drop some half moon grass, and then right over here, We've got a scimitar, which I might actually switch to that. Yeah, my stats have it. My stats allow me to have it or use it. It's a primarily dex scaling weapon. It has bleed damage effect. Small curved sword. This slashing weapon inflicts heavy damage upon soft flesh, but has a limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. I am going to use that because we're going to get a very similar weapon later on, and I like the moves. Okay, let's talk to this guy now.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
He gives us the brass telescope.
Now I take my leave. There is something I must do.
And then he'll just keep saying that over and over when you talk to him. You can attack him, and you can accidentally hit him in the combat that comes up around this corner, because he basically walks down here and fights these guys. So if you're fighting these guys with him, you might accidentally hit him, and he might become your enemy if you hit him too many times. And I'm only warning you of that because that is exactly what has happened to me. And my poor planning. Oh. Man. It's taking forever to kill that guy. Okay, there he is. Ostrava. He walks all the way down there. He aggroes all those guys and then starts fighting them. And on successive, was not expecting that. You notice how the camera kind of did its own thing here? I was trying to keep a good view, but yeah. We got some more crafting materials, sharp stones and hard stones. Take my catalyst off. So Ostrava will walk up to that guy and aggro him. Look at that bleed damage. He died from bleeding. Now, you can kind of look out over here. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have just killed these guys. So we can't lock onto them from here, but this is a good learning experience. You'll notice that if I line up a shot with my right shoulder, that pretty much works. I don't think I can get that one guy there. No, I can't get the other guy either. Whatever. Fighting two guys is better than fighting four. And you'll notice an arrow flew down because one of these archers, the guy at the top, he aggroes on us while we're way down here. Dregling shield. I'm just going to stand here so he can't shoot me. A shoddy wooden shield used by Dreglings. Little more than a patchwork of wood scraps. The guard break and the physical damage resistance is not as good as the buckler. Oh. And right at the top of these stairs is a blue-eye knight. Look at that, he healed. That was actually kind of a risky move there, just slashing at him like that. Didn't know if that would actually work. So doing this will not kill you. Hey, look at that. He fell onto that roof there. I don't know if I'll be able to get to that. I can get to it. I've never done that before. And he had crescent moon grass. The thing that we have plenty of. So we got another fog wall here to walk through. And this right here is a trap that we get to set off. There's a bunch of dudes here, but some of them are archers. If you don't set off that trap, it's almost assuredly a death sentence to walk down here. I think the first time I did it, that's where I died. A lot more crescent moon grass. Hey, look at that. I'm gonna take one. So, right up around this corner. Oh, and I guess I could use photo mode to show it off. Actually, I don't know if it'll reach. I'll get up to the top of the stairs and do it again. There are two guys, two pikemen around this corner. So I'm going to very slowly walk forward until I aggro one of them. Fighting them at the same time is just not fun. Throughout the whole me playing this, I'm always going to try and go for the path of least resistance. Always going to try and do the easiest thing. If you don't like that, I don't care. Okay, so this is the one area where I'm going to put on the thief ring, because I don't want any of these guys shooting at me or coming forward. I kind of want to be able to just stand here and show off the dragon, because this is where we first meet the dragon. As soon as we come up to this bridge, he flies down. As long as you stay here, he'll do that. He'll clear the bridge for you. But you notice that his flame comes all the way up to the Vanguard. The dragon can see through the thief ring. So I'm going to put the Fragrant Ring back on. And now we want to lure that red dragon away from the bridge. And we do that by running over here. Hey, there's a blue dragon too. Notice how the ground is scorched? Yeah, we don't want to stay here for very long. Purple flame shield. That's all I really wanted to pick up. We'll come back to those shinies later. Archstone shard. More full moon grass. That is the red dragon being angry and spitting some flames. So I'm just going to come up here, take a look at the dragon, and take a look at what we just picked up. The purple flame shield, 100% physical damage resistance, 90% fire damage resistance, and a 60 guard break. We need a 22 strength in order to wield it. An old large shield painted with vivid purple, extremely heavy and very effective against flame. The shield is shrouded in mystery, and the origins of its unique design are unknown. And then we also picked up, oh, look at that, our H spice, our brass telescope, and full moon grass automatically populated into our items, which is not what we wanted. Brass telescope, I didn't look at this earlier, did I? A rare trinket which employs concave glass that allows one to view distant scenes as clear as day. And the Archstone Shard, a shard scraped from one of the Archstones found across the land, transports the user back to the Nexus. The Monumental entrusted the Archstones to the leaders of the masses, but before long the stones were forgotten and left to be gnawed away by rodents. And I guess I did pick up aged spot. That's what I picked up from the body of the witch who was wearing the old ragged robes. Consumed to greatly replenish magic points. Concocted by mixing various fermented ingredients. Banned in some regions throughout history for its pungency and its association with unsavory brewers. As I said before, I do apologize if I get distracted. So, I went across the bridge. Oh, look at that. 3 things got dropped. Probably have time to pick one up. These guys did not get killed by the dragon, which means that this is a relatively safe place to go. I think this is just going to be more crescent moon grass. Hey, look, another soldier's shield. And the dragon was easy. Unknown warrior soul, right down there. And right around here, we're going to have a cutscene. And that creature back there is the Phalanx. So, we have another ambush point. Remember how I was saying earlier we're going to be in tight spaces fighting people? This area sucks. I hate it. I've died so many times. I suggest that you come around to the left and kill that guy as quickly as possible. Because this guy, it's a coin toss as to whether or not he's really aggressive or moves really slowly. Pine resin. And just after these 2 guys, we're going to be fighting 2 more pikemen in this same corridor. There's one of them. Just waiting for him to come around me. Come on, dude, what are you doing? Did he get caught on the wall and now he's just going to throw it? Ah! Look at that. The camera is not your friend. He had 3 hit points left. And somehow I only did 2 points of damage with that sword swing. Man, just the ways that this game tries to kill you. So, this is one of my favorite things to do, is just to lure these guys and then have them jump and die, usually. Wow, he didn't die. That's crazy. And here's our first encounter with a hoplite. The hoplite is basically this big blob character with a shield, and they generate a spear, and then they keep throwing the spear. So you want to get behind them to attack them, because you'll do more damage. We got another one right to our left there, and I will show you right after I pick up this unknown hero soul. If you attack them from the front, it will do very little damage compared to attacking them from behind. And you know what? Just for this next one, I'm going to put on the Providential Ring. There is a shield called the Hoplite Shield, and if you get the digital deluxe version of the game, you can start with that shield, stockpile Thomas, will have it in his storage after you first talk to him. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Providential Ring on, even though I kind of want to regenerate magic points in the next fight. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Hoplite Shield. The only way to get the Hoplite Shield, if you haven't purchased the digital deluxe version, is to kill those blobby things. And there's only 3 of them in that tower. When we fight the Phalanx, you'll see that the Phalanx is actually made of those creatures. So fighting the Phalanx, you can basically farm the Phalanx trying to get the Hoplite Shield. I'm not going to do that here. I'll show you the Hoplite Shield some other way, but the easiest thing to do, now that we have gone through the whole first level, we've opened up the door to the boss, is the Archstone is just down there. So you can farm the boss by killing a bunch of the hoplites, and as long as you keep 1 or 2 of them alive, you can let the hoplites kill you, and then come back and fight the Phalanx again. And it's not only beneficial for trying to get that Hoplite Shield, but each of these individual Hoplites will give you souls. Want him to break up a little bit. So this is generally the first tactic that I use. Keep moving and throw fire bombs. You should have picked up at least 11 fire bombs, although sometimes Dreglings will drop more. And you want to try and get as many of these hoplites as possible as well. Oh, I ran out of firebomb. Oh, okay. Don't want to die, so back up and heal. And you'll notice that I'm getting souls for each of these hoplites. So, and they sometimes drop things. Doing more damage by attacking from behind. I am aware that my health went down. We're trying to be studly, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to do some more pine resin. I probably don't need to, because there's only like 4 or 5 of these. But each one of these is giving 35 souls. This early in the game, this is a good way of farming souls if you want to level up a few times. If you're confident in your ability. So there are, oh, I think there's 1 hoplite left. So if I really wanted to, I could farm that. Oh, didn't get a hoplite shield. And now, the Phalanx is pretty much defenseless. Those hoplites can heal the Phalanx, so any damage that you do directly to the Phalanx, in order to make the fight go faster, could just be prolonged, because it's covered in those hoplites that heal it and keep it going. Body restored. And touching the Archstone gives us the Lead Demon soul. The soul of the Phalanx Demon, a source of great power. So we're going to go back to the Nexus, and things are going to be a little different.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
So now the Candle Maiden is here. We can talk to her, but if we talk to her at this point, she'll just repeat what she said in the cutscene.
The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain.
And for now, I think I'm done. I'm going to take a little break, and there's no way for me to wave at the camera. So next time, I'll show off the rest of the Nexus, because we should have some more NPCs to talk to in here. And maybe we'll go and fight that Red Eye Knight.